Welcome back. The left tells us calling radical Islam foments hatred against peaceful Muslims equal to the violence and death perpetrated by ISIS themselves. If we call terrorists Islamists, they say, you and I, are the same as ISIS. I'm LizWheeler, and this is my final point. I got a lot of feedback yesterday on my video called Islamophobia, in which I made the argument that refusing to recognize that the Manhattan terrorist's religious beliefs, his interpretation of Islam, however warped that interpretation may be, motivated and fueled his desire to kill Americans, to kill as many Americans as possible. I said if we refuse to condemn radical Islam, if we pretend terrorists like Saifullah Saipov have no religion or are simply extremists without specifying the extreme of what, we are leaving other innocent Americans in danger. Now, I got about 1,000 emails about this. My Twitter timeline was filled with hatred and accusations that I was Islamophobic, which was predictable, hence the ironic title of my original video, and accusations that I was fomenting violence against peaceful American Muslims by conflating Islam with terrorism. So I'd like to address two of these points. First of all, if those of you who accused me of fear-mongering actually watched my video, which I assume you did not based on your comments, because you don't actually know what I said, you'd know I made a very clear distinction between Islam and radical Islamists. Ironically, it seems like I'm the only one making the distinction in this conversation. By ignoring the Islamist ideology that motivates these terrorists, you are actually refusing to distinguish between Islam and radical Islam. Second of all, calling Islamist terrorism extremism, that makes no sense. Extreme is a modifier. You have to be the extreme of something, which leaves us with the question, the extremist ideology of these terrorists. Extreme what? Extreme sports? Extremely hungry? No. Are white supremacists called extremists, or is their version of extreme ideology, extreme beliefs identified? Their desire to destroy anybody whose skin color is darker than theirs. That's the identification. So why not these terrorists? Why just call them extremists and refuse to talk about the extreme of what? Identify their desire to kill. Saifullah Saipov didn't have a desire to kill when he came to the United States that we know of. So what prompted him? Where did he learn that philosophy? How did he acquire his extreme ideology? How does he justify his killing? How can we stop him and other terrorists like him if we refuse to answer these questions? The videos online that radicalize terrorists aren't called extremist ideology. They're called jihad. The terrorists don't kill in the name of desire. They kill in the name of Allah. They don't believe they are wrong, not because they're sociopathic. They believe they will be rewarded by 72 virgins and live forever with the Prophet Muhammad. If we refuse to recognize that the religious beliefs of these terrorists, their interpretation of Islam, however warped that interpretation may be, fuels their desire to kill us and to kill innocent Muslims around the world, more people will die. Because as we know, the largest number of victims who die at the hand of radical Islamist terrorists are Muslims. And yet the left is worried about Islamophobia. And that's my final point. You can reach me on Twitter at Liz_Wheeler. If you liked the show, please send me an email at oann.com/contact. In the meantime, catch us here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, and until then, have a good night.